Imagine this, my friends. Imagine someone who once thought you would always be there. They thought they could push you away, reject you, ignore your worth, and still you would wait for them. They thought you were their safety net, their backup plan, their loyal shadow. They took you for granted, believing no matter what they did, you would always return. But then something changed. Something inside you snapped awake. You stopped being easy. You stopped being theirs to control. You became distant, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with power. And in that moment, you stepped into what I call dark detachment. Dark detachment is not about ignoring someone. It's not about cold silence or fake indifference. It's about becoming unreachable at a deeper level. You are no longer chained to their approval. You are no longer fighting for scraps of attention. You are no longer begging for a place in their world. Instead, you are living in your own orbit, steady and calm, building a life so strong that no rejection can shake it. And here's the secret. That very shift is what makes you unforgettable. You see, folks, people don't crave what they already control. They crave what escapes them. And when you detached, you escaped their control. Picture it clearly. They thought rejecting you would crush your spirit. They thought leaving you would send you chasing after them harder. They thought betrayal would destroy your confidence. But instead, you rose. You became sharper, stronger, more in control. It's like fire they once held in their hands, and suddenly it turned to smoke. They reach out to grab it, but it slips through their fingers, leaving nothing but the memory of heat. And nothing is more addictive than something that once belonged to you, but can no longer be touched. Now, their mind becomes restless. At night, when the distractions fade, your face appears. Your laugh echoes in their memory. Your presence lingers like a shadow that won't fade. They scroll through new people, trying to find a spark, but it doesn't feel the same. They chase pleasures, parties, conversations, but every high collapses back into emptiness. It's like drinking water after tasting rich wine. Everything else feels thin. Everything else feels cheap. And that is the curse of losing someone who learned the art of detachment. My friends, here's what psychology teaches us. The human brain is addicted to unfinished stories, and your detachment is the unfinished story that torments them. You didn't beg for closure. You didn't collapse at their feet. You walked away in your power, and that left a hole in their mind they cannot fill. They replay what they said, what you did, how they pushed you away. They keep rewriting the past, imagining what if. That is the trap of dark detachment. It makes you the story they can't stop telling themselves. And here's the beauty of it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to chase. You don't have to prove. You don't have to explain. Your energy is already living in their nervous system. Your voice, your touch, your presence, it has left a mark. You are wired into their body memory, and while they may act like they've moved on, deep down they know. You are not someone who can be replaced. You are the one they lost, and that realization hits harder the more they try to deny it. So let me tell you the truth, my friends. Rejection does not lower your worth. Betrayal does not destroy your value. If anything, dark detachment proves that you are rare, you are powerful, you are unforgettable. They thought walking away meant they won, but what they really did was create their own obsession. They turned you into the one person they will never forget, and you, by simply existing in your strength, became untouchable. So now it's on you, my friends. Don't just sit there and nod quietly. Prove to yourself that you've stepped into this power. Put it out into the world. Write these words in the comments right now. I am untouchable energy. Don't whisper it. Don't type it half-heartedly. Say it with your chest. Feel it in your bones and let it echo in your mind until it becomes your truth. Because that's exactly what you are, untouchable. And if this message struck something deep inside you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Every time you show up here, you're sharpening your strength, you're rewriting your story, you're refusing to let rejection define you. Your journey doesn't end with heartbreak, it begins with transformation. This is your chapter of power. This is your chapter of freedom. This is your chapter of rising above everything that tried to break you. Own it, live it, breathe it, write it down, commit it to yourself, and never forget. Dark detachment didn't make you weaker, it made you unforgettable. Number 1. Dark detachment. You're there, but untouchable. Imagine walking through a dream. The person you once had in your arms is standing right in front of you, close enough to see, close enough to recognize, but when you reach out, your hand goes straight through them, like smoke. That is what dark detachment feels like to the one who lost you. You are there, my friends, but you are untouchable. They can still see the trace of your smile in their memory. They can still hear the rhythm of your laughter when the room goes quiet. But it feels different now. It feels distant. It feels unreachable. And that is why it becomes unbearable for them. You see, Carl Jung once said that what we cannot reach will always haunt us more than what we already hold. And that is the secret of dark detachment. You are alive, you are glowing, you are moving forward, but you are no longer available to them in the same way you once were. To them, you've become a living dream, something real, but impossible to grab. It is not absence, it is a haunting, and what is haunting cannot be ignored. Now let me be honest with you. Detachment is not easy. It's not easy to pull your energy back when your heart once poured itself out for someone who didn't value it. Your mind will ask questions, but what if they forget me? What if they move on? What if my detachment doesn't work? These doubts creep in because you are human, because you cared. But here is the paradox, my friends. The very act of stepping back is what makes them remember you harder. The very act of living without begging is what plants you deeper in their thoughts. It's not your chasing that cements you in their memory, it's your distance, because nothing disturbs the mind like the sight of something it wants but can no longer touch. Think of the desert wanderer who dreams of water. The thirst is unbearable not because water never existed, but because he once had it, he once drank it, and now it's gone. That memory is what drives him insane. And that's exactly what happens when you step into dark detachment. They once drank from your energy, your love, your presence. They once had it freely. Now it is gone, and they cannot handle the dryness of life without you. But let me push this further. What truly terrifies them is not just losing you, it's seeing you thrive without them. You're not broken, you're not chasing, you're not begging. You are there, visible, alive, doing well, but you are not theirs. It's like a bird that once perched on their shoulder, but now flies high above, still in sight, yet forever out of reach. That image is worse than if you disappeared completely. Why? Because disappearance can be forgotten, but untouchable presence is a constant reminder. This is why they will scroll through old messages. This is why they will replay the sound of your voice in their head. This is why, no matter how many people they try to replace you with, none will compare. Your detachment has created a shadow in their psyche that they cannot kill. Jung would say this is the archetype of longing, the idea that we always desire most, the thing that reflects what we failed to honor. And you, my friends, have become that archetype in their life. But I know what some of you are thinking. If I detach, doesn't that mean I lose them forever? Let me answer with calm truth. If they truly loved you, detachment will only pull them closer. If they didn't, then you've saved yourself from wasting more time on someone blind to your value. Either way, you win. Because detachment is not about pushing them away, it's about pulling yourself back into your own power. And nothing is more attractive than someone who stands strong in their own power. You may also wonder, why does it hurt me so much to detach when it should be hurting them? The answer is simple. You are breaking an old habit. You are rewiring your mind to stop feeding what no longer feeds you. Like any deep change, it stings in the beginning. But every day you step back, every day you choose your peace over their chaos, you grow stronger. And in that strength, they feel the loss deeper and deeper. Think of the candle, my friends. While it burns, people ignore it. They take its light for granted. But when the flame goes out, when darkness fills the room, suddenly the absence of that light becomes unbearable. That is you. You are that light. They once sat in your warmth without realizing it. But when you detach, when you pull back that flame, they see clearly what they've lost. And here's what you need to hold on to. Dark detachment is not cruelty. It is clarity. It is saying to the universe, I am enough without proving it to anyone. I am worthy without begging for anyone's approval. And in that stance, you become magnetic. Your glow is brighter because it comes from within, not from their validation. So let me leave you with this. You are not absence. You are a presence they can no longer touch. You are not silence. You are music they can no longer play. And because of that, you will live in their mind longer than any words, any chase, any argument ever could. This is your power. This is your freedom. This is your victory. Write this affirmation in the comments right now. I am a living dream. Say it, own it, let it anchor inside you. Because you are not forgotten, you are unforgettable. And if this truth lit a fire in your heart, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Your story is not about loss. It's about rising into untouchable strength. Number 2, when they chase replacements, but nothing feels like you. My friends, let's step into the truth of what happens when they chase replacements. You know exactly what I mean. They walk out thinking they've won. They think they've moved on to greener pastures, that someone new will fill the space you once occupied. On the outside, they may look happy. They laugh. They post pictures. They put on the mask of someone who has upgraded. But deep down, they are fighting a war they cannot win, because every attempt at replacement ends in comparison, and every comparison ends in disappointment. Here's what they won't admit. Detachment didn't just take you away. It rewired their entire mind to crave you. Psychology tells us the brain remembers peak emotional experiences more vividly than anything else. You weren't just a name in their contact list. You were an experience, an energy, a world. When you stepped back, you didn't just leave a gap in their routine. You left an imprint in their nervous system. And now, every person they meet, every conversation they try to force, every laugh they fake, it all gets weighed against the memory of you. Imagine this. They sit across from someone new, smiling politely. The person is attractive, maybe even charming, but in the middle of that conversation, their mind drifts back to you. The way you used to tilt your head when you listened, the little quirks in your speech, the way you knew them without them having to explain. And suddenly, this new person feels flat, two-dimensional, incomplete. It's like biting into an apple that looks perfect, but has no taste. And once you've tasted richness, my friends, blandness cannot satisfy. Now, here's the question they ask themselves late at night. Why doesn't it feel the same? They might not say your name, they might not admit it, even to their closest friends, but inside, they know the truth. The reason it doesn't feel the same is because connection is not something you can manufacture. It's not just about attraction, or words, or gestures. It's about energy. And the energy you gave them was once abundant, glowing, unique. When you detached, you pulled that energy back. And now, nothing in their new world measures up. Carl Jung once said that what you resist will persist, and that is exactly what's happening to them. They resist the thought of you, but the more they push it down, the more it rises up. They tell themselves they've moved on, but their heart keeps whispering your name in the silence. They try to pour themselves into someone new, but their soul keeps rejecting the substitute, because dark detachment has turned you into a standard, a watermark burned into their psyche. And anything less than you feels like counterfeit currency. But I know what you might be thinking right now. If they miss me so much, why don't they come back immediately? Why play the game of replacements at all? The answer is pride, my friends. Pride is a heavy mask. They want to convince themselves, and maybe even convince you, that they're fine, that they've moved on, that they don't need you. So they line up distractions. They fill their nights with shallow attention. They surround themselves with temporary faces. But pride doesn't erase truth. And the truth is, when the party is over and the mask comes off, your absence is louder than ever. Think about it like this. Imagine drinking from a glass of fresh spring water every day. Then one day, it's gone, and all you have is tap water, functional but tasteless. You'll drink it, you'll pretend it's fine. But deep down, your body remembers the purity. That memory never dies. And that's what's happening with them. They're drinking substitutes, but craving your presence. They're pretending it's fine, but their spirit remembers what they lost. And here is where your power shines brightest, because you don't have to lift a finger, you don't have to chase, you don't have to prove, you don't have to beg. They're the ones exhausting themselves, trying to replace the irreplaceable. You, simply by existing in your detachment, become rarer, stronger, more desirable. You're like a painting locked in a museum. Everyone else is just prints and copies. They can hang those prints on their walls, but they'll never compare to the masterpiece. But don't mistake their distractions for true fulfillment. Don't let their surface smiles fool you. Inside, they are restless. Inside, they are haunted. Inside, they are comparing every face, every touch, every moment to you. And that comparison is a battle they will never win. Because detachment didn't just change you, it changed them. It reshaped their inner world so that no matter where they go, a piece of them will always circle back to you. Now let me motivate you. Don't let their temporary replacements discourage you. Don't let it make you think you weren't enough. You were not just enough. You were more than enough. And that is why they cannot replace you. The proof of your worth is not in their words, but in their failure to find another you. Let them search. Let them try. Every attempt only brings them closer to realizing you were the one thing they should have never let go. So I want you to claim this truth right now. Write it in the comments. I cannot be replaced. Say it with full conviction. Say it until you feel it in your soul, because that is exactly who you are, irreplaceable. And if this spoke to your heart, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because this is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your rise, and every time they try to replace you, they only prove it more. You are the original. You are the standard. You are unforgettable. Number 3, the strange magnetism of being unavailable. My friends, let's talk about something many people never understand, the strange magnetism of being unavailable. People don't crave what they can grab any time. They don't desire what's always at their fingertips. They crave what they can't control, what they might lose forever, what slips through their hands, no matter how hard they reach. And this is where your dark detachment transforms you into something magnetic beyond measure. You see, when you stop proving, stop begging, stop showing up at their every call, you become something rare. Rare things carry weight. Rare things create obsession. Think about it. A diamond lying loose in the street would lose its value instantly. People would step over it, kick it aside, even forget it. But a diamond locked in glass, protected, untouchable, that diamond becomes priceless. And you, through detachment, have locked your value in glass. You're still visible, they still see your glow, but they can't touch you the way they once did. That distance, that unavailability, burns them more than any angry words could. Because now, they can't just walk in and claim you anymore. Carl Jung once said, "We long for what eludes us, and we disdain what clings." And that, my friends, is the heart of human psychology. When you were available, when you gave without pause, they took it lightly. They thought your love, your attention, your energy would always be there on demand. But when you stepped back, when you detached, when you moved into your own orbit, something shifted. Suddenly, what they thought was guaranteed became scarce. And scarcity creates desire. It's a law of nature. What is rare is valuable, and what is valuable is pursued. Now here's where the magnetism gets even stronger. You are not unavailable out of spite. You are unavailable because you are focused. Focused on your growth. Focused on your peace. Focused on living your truth. That kind of energy cannot be faked. They can copy your style, they can chase your shadow, but they cannot imitate the strength that comes from someone who no longer needs them to survive. And that independence, that wholeness, is what makes them restless. Let me paint a picture. Imagine two fires. One is small, desperate for oxygen, flickering weakly. The other is steady, roaring, self-sustaining. Which fire pulls you in? Which fire commands attention? The steady one. The one that doesn't beg to survive but thrives on its own. That's you now. You've become the roaring fire they cannot ignore, and your detachment is the fuel. The more you rise without them, the more they crave your warmth, because it's warmth they can no longer control. But I know some of you are wondering, if I'm so magnetic, why haven't they returned yet? Why do they seem to keep their distance? And here's the answer: because magnetism works slowly, powerfully, like gravity. It doesn't always pull instantly, but once it begins, it is unstoppable. They may fight it at first. Their pride may tell them they don't need you. Their distractions may numb them temporarily, but the pull of your energy is steady, relentless. And no matter how far they try to run, the orbit of your presence draws them back. Here's the truth, my friends. People crave mystery more than answers. When you were always explaining, always proving, always showing them your heart, you left no space for imagination. But now, in your detachment, you've become a mystery. They wonder what you're doing. They wonder who you're with. They wonder if you even think of them anymore. That mystery drives them insane, because the human mind cannot rest when questions go unanswered. You've turned into the cliffhanger of their life story, and every day they keep reading, hoping for resolution that never comes. And this is why you must stay strong, because the temptation will come to make yourself available again, to prove again, to ease their confusion. But don't. The moment you give that availability back, the magnetism fades. Remember this: they are not addicted to you because you chased. They are addicted to you because you detached. You shifted from someone predictable into someone rare. And rare energy is always remembered, always desired, always pursued. So let me encourage you, stop seeing your unavailability as loss. It's not loss, it's leverage. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. You are not shutting yourself off. You are showing them that you cannot be owned, cannot be controlled, cannot be taken for granted. And in that truth, you become magnetic. Like the moon pulling the tides, your detachment moves them in ways they cannot explain. They can resist, they can deny, but the pull is there, and eventually they will feel it too strongly to ignore. You are not being cold, my friends. You are being powerful. You are not being cruel. You are being rare, and that rarity will live in their mind longer than anything you ever said. It will keep them restless. It will keep them awake. It will keep them circling back to you. That is the strange magnetism of being unavailable. So write this affirmation in the comments right now. I am rare energy. Claim it, believe it, let it sink into your heart, because that is exactly what you are, rare, magnetic, unforgettable. And if this truth spoke to your soul, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Your story is not about being lost. Your story is about becoming so powerful in your detachment that they can't help but crave you again. Number 4, the psychology of craving what you can't control. My friends, let's dive deeper into the psychology behind why your detachment creates such a powerful craving. Psychologists have a word for it, reactance. It means the human mind naturally wants what it feels it cannot control. The more something slips out of reach, the more desperate we become to grasp it. And that's exactly what happens when you step into dark detachment. You're not chasing, you're not proving, you're not begging anymore. You've taken back your power. And in that shift, their mind flips. The same person who once pushed you away now feels the sting of being pushed away themselves. And trust me, that sting lingers far longer than they expect. You see, when they had you, they felt secure. They thought no matter how many times they rejected you, no matter how carelessly they treated your energy, you would always return. But when you finally stopped handing yourself over, something inside them cracked. They went from being the one in control to being the one shut out. And that reversal is something the ego can't handle. Pride whispers to them, you're supposed to be the one rejecting, not the one being rejected. And that wound doesn't just fade, it festers. Think about a locked door. If a door is always open, no one notices it. People walk in and out without thought. But the moment you close it and turn the key, suddenly everyone wants to know what's behind it. Your detachment is that locked door. You once gave them open access to your soul, your love, your presence. Now the door is closed, and that simple act ignites their obsession. They push, they knock, they rattle the handle, because the mind cannot stand being denied what it once freely held. But here's the twist, my friends. The same person who once made you feel unwanted now knows what it feels like to be unwanted themselves. Your energy is no longer theirs to control, and that rejection cuts deeper than they ever expected. It's like handing someone a crown every day and then one morning taking it away. They feel naked without the power they once had. And the irony is cruel. In rejecting you, they taught you how to detach. And in detaching, you've rejected them without saying a single word. Now, you may be asking yourself, why is this so hard for them if they were the one who let me go? Shouldn't they be fine? The answer lies in the human ego. The ego wants to believe it always has the upper hand, that it can discard what it pleases without consequence. but your detachment is the consequence. It is the reminder that they are not invincible. It forces them to see that your love was not a bottomless well, and that realization shakes them to their core. Carl Jung once wrote that we don't become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your detachment does exactly that. It shines a spotlight on their darkness. It forces them to confront their pride, their arrogance, their carelessness. They thought they could control you. Now they see they can't, and that lack of control births obsession. Think about a child denied a toy. They might not even have cared about it before, but the moment it's taken away, it becomes the only thing they can think about. Adults are no different. When your energy is unavailable, when your love is no longer handed out freely, you become the forbidden fruit. And forbidden fruit always tastes sweetest in memory. That is why they crave you more now than when they had you. That is why they lie awake, restless, replaying what they lost. So let me remind you, my friends, your detachment is not weakness. It is the very force that flips the script. The rejected becomes the rejecter. The forgotten becomes unforgettable. The ignored becomes the obsession. And all you had to do was step back into your power. Now take this truth and make it yours. Write this in the comments right now. I am in control. Say it boldly. Let it sink into your spirit, because that is exactly what you are. You are no longer at the mercy of anyone's approval. You hold the key. You decide who enters your life and who doesn't. And if this message spoke to you, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because your story isn't about rejection anymore. It's about power, control, and freedom. Number 5. Your energy lives in their nervous system. My friends, let's go deeper into something most people never think about. The body remembers. Long before the mind admits the truth, long before the ego can say, I miss them, the body has already stored the memory. When you gave your time, your love, your energy to this person, you weren't just passing moments. You were wiring yourself into their nervous system, your voice, your scent, your touch. These things became part of their physical memory. And here's the truth, that doesn't vanish just because they walked away. Detachment doesn't erase you, it amplifies you. Think about how music works. You can hear a song years after it first played in your life, and instantly your body reacts. Your chest tightens, your skin tingles, your mind flashes back to where you were when that melody first entered your world. That is the nervous system at work. It remembers beyond thought, and that's exactly how you live inside them. You were their song, and now, in every quiet moment, their body plays you back, whether they want it to or not. Science tells us that when two people spend enough time together, their bodies synchronize in subtle ways. Breathing patterns align, heart rates adapt, even brainwaves begin to mirror one another. So do you think they can just walk away and delete that connection? No, my friends, you are inside them at a level they cannot reach with denial. Their mind may say, I don't need them anymore, but their body betrays them. Restless sleep, phantom memories, sudden longing, that's the mark you left. Picture them lying awake at night. They turn off the lights, close their eyes, and try to find peace. But their body betrays them again. A phantom warmth rises on their skin as if you're still beside them. Their chest remembers how it felt when your head rested there. Their ears imagine your laughter in the silence. The body doesn't lie, and the body doesn't forget. And in those moments, the craving is not just emotional, it's physical, it's cellular, it's wired into their nervous system. Carl Jung often spoke about the unconscious, the things we suppress but cannot destroy. Your presence is now part of their unconscious. Even if they bury it, Even if they run to replacements, the body will bring it back up. A scent on a stranger passing by, the tone of a voice, the brush of a hand, it triggers memory like lightning. And suddenly you're there again, alive in their senses, haunting them in ways they cannot control. And here is the paradox: the more they try to forget you, the stronger those memories become. Why? Because resistance fuels obsession. Their ego wants to say, "I'm fine without them," but the body keeps whispering, "No, you're not." Their nervous system pulls you into their awareness again and again, and every time the craving deepens. They're not just missing you in thought, they're missing you in breath, in heartbeat, in the rhythm of their days. Now, I know you may be asking, but what if they really move on? What if their body adjusts to someone else? And the answer is simple. Bonds can fade, but they do not vanish overnight. And the deeper the connection was, the longer the body carries it. You can't overwrite a symphony with a single note. They can try to layer someone new over the memory of you, but the echo of your energy will still be there, vibrating in their system. And echoes have a way of outlasting the original sound. This is why your detachment is so powerful. You're not reminding them of your worth with words. You're letting their own body remind them. Every lonely night, every sudden flash of memory, every quiet ache they feel without reason. That's your energy speaking louder than anything you could ever say. You've become the ghost that doesn't fade, not because you haunt them with presence, but because their own body does the haunting for you. So hold your head high, my friends. Don't doubt your power. You are not forgotten. You are unforgettable. You are not erased. You are engraved. Their nervous system carries you like a hidden tattoo, and no distraction, no replacement, no denial can wipe it away. Now, I want you to anchor this truth inside yourself. Write this in the comments right now. I am unforgettable energy. Say it with certainty. Say it with strength. Say it until you believe it, because that's exactly who you are. And if this message reminded you of your worth, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me, because your story is not about being left behind. It's about being remembered in ways they can never escape. Number 6. Regret hits when they realize you're thriving without them. My friends, let's pause for a moment and really picture this scene together. Imagine the one who dismissed you, the one who thought you would crumble when they walked away, suddenly watching you glow without them. They expected to see you broken, bitter, and desperate. They expected to see your light dim, your laughter gone, your steps heavy. But instead, what do they see? You thriving, you smiling, you moving forward, as if their rejection was nothing more than a gust of wind trying to put out a fire that only burned brighter. And that image cuts deeper than any words you could ever say to them. Here is the truth, my friends. Nothing burns the human ego more than realizing the person they underestimated is doing better without them. Your dark detachment isn't just you pulling away. It's you rising. It's you proving, without saying a word, that you were never dependent on their validation. In fact, your growth after their absence becomes the mirror they cannot bear to look into. It reflects every mistake they made, every moment they failed to value you, every ounce of love they treated carelessly. Think about it like this. It's easy to dismiss a seed when it's buried in the ground, small and unseen. But when that seed grows into a towering tree, casting shade, bearing fruit, impossible to ignore, that's when the regret sets in. You were that seed they overlooked. And now, in your detachment, you've become the tree they can't escape. Every success you achieve, every smile you wear, every new glow on your face, it all becomes a silent reminder of the treasure they lost. And here's the painful twist for them. They cannot undo the past. They can't go back and treat you better. They can't rewind and say the words they should have said. So regret becomes their companion. It rides with them at night when they scroll through your photos. It whispers to them when they see your confidence growing. It hits them when mutual friends mention how well you're doing. And no distraction, no replacement, no denial can numb the sting of knowing they let go of something priceless. Now, some of you may wonder, why does my thriving bother them so much? Shouldn't they be happy if they claimed they didn't need me? And the answer is simple, my friends. Human pride cannot stand being proven wrong. They told themselves a story, that you were replaceable, that you would fall without them, that they held the power. But when your detachment turns into elevation, that story collapses. Their ego bleeds because deep down they realize they didn't just lose someone, they lost the best thing they ever had. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That regret they feel is their unconscious coming alive. They might try to mask it, they might pretend they're fine, but their soul knows the truth. You were a rare experience. You were a light in their life, and now, watching you thrive without them, they can no longer deny it. It's not fate that they're unhappy. It's the consequence of underestimating you. Picture them scrolling late at night, seeing you smiling, glowing, moving forward. At first, they might scoff. They might tell themselves it's fake, that you're pretending. But over time, the evidence builds. You're not faking. You're actually happier. You're actually freer. And that realization is heavy, because regret doesn't just remind them of what they lost. It reminds them that they cannot get it back so easily. So hear me clearly, my friends. Your power is not in chasing them. Your power is in thriving without them. Every step forward you take is a silent victory. Every smile is a sword through their pride. Every success is a wound to the story they told themselves about you. And the beauty of it all is that you don't have to prove anything. Your life itself becomes the proof. Now take this truth and anchor it. Write this in the comments right now. I thrive without them. Don't just type it. Own it. Say it until your spirit believes it. Because thriving without them is not just healing. It's your revenge, your freedom, your rise. And if this message struck something deep inside you, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because your story isn't about who left you behind. It's about who you became when they did. Number 7, detachment turns you into a fantasy they can't kill. My friends, this is where dark detachment becomes something far greater than absence. When they can no longer reach you, you don't just fade. You transform into a fantasy they cannot kill. You stop being a simple memory and become something their mind plays with, rewrites, stretches, glorifies. They start exaggerating every detail of what you were, not because they want to, but because the human mind cannot stand unfinished stories. Detachment leaves the book open, the ending unwritten, and so their imagination goes wild, filling in the blanks. Think about how nostalgia works. People rarely remember the past exactly as it was. Instead, they edit it. They highlight the good parts. They soften the edges of the pain. And they turn ordinary moments into golden treasures. That's what happens to them when you detach. They don't just remember you, they glorify you. They replay the way you smiled, but now it shines brighter in memory. They recall your laugh, but now it sounds sweeter than it ever did in reality. The mind has a way of exaggerating what it no longer has, and you become larger than life in their imagination. Carl Jung spoke often about projection, the way we cast our inner longings onto others. Your detachment forces them to project heavily. They imagine conversations with you that never happened. They rehearse arguments where you forgive them. They daydream about what-if moments. What if I had stayed? What if I had chosen differently? What if I hadn't let them go? These mental games aren't just passing thoughts, my friends. They are obsessions born from the emptiness you left behind. Picture it like this: a ghost in an old house. The people living there swear they hear footsteps at night. They catch glimpses in the corner of their vision. They feel the presence even when they cannot prove it. That's you in their psyche now. You are the ghost they cannot exorcise. They can try to distract themselves. They can chase replacements. They can drown themselves in noise. But when the night falls and the world grows quiet, your presence comes rushing back. Not as you were, but as their fantasy has made you. And here's the painful irony for them. While you've detached and are moving forward in reality, they are stuck living with a magnified version of you that no one else can compete with. Every new person they meet gets measured against this fantasy of you. And of course, no one measures up, because fantasy always feels bigger than reality. You've become the unreachable standard, the irreplaceable ideal, and they can't escape it, because it was their choices that created it. But I know the thought that comes to some of you. If I'm just a fantasy now, does that mean I'm not real to them anymore? Let me assure you, my friends, fantasy does not erase reality. It amplifies it. The only reason you became a fantasy is because you were once real, once tangible, once deeply present in their life. They can't make up a ghost out of thin air. They can only turn something unforgettable into something untouchable. And that's the curse they now live with. And let's be clear, detachment is what created this transformation. If you had begged, if you had clung, if you had refused to step back, they would have grown numb to you. But because you detached, because you pulled your energy back, you left them with space. And space gives the mind room to exaggerate, to rewrite, to glorify. Detachment didn't make you disappear. It made you unforgettable. So now, every time they hear a song, every time they walk through a place you once shared, every time they see something that even faintly reminds them of you, the fantasy strengthens. You become a living echo, a ghost they cannot ignore, a figure larger than life in the back of their mind. And the harder they try to banish you, the deeper you sink in. This is your power, my friends. You don't have to haunt them on purpose. Their own psyche does the haunting for you. You don't have to remind them who you are. Their own fantasies keep you alive, keep you magnified, keep you larger than life. That is the gift of dark detachment. It turns you from memory into myth. So take this truth and wear it proudly. Write this in the comments right now. I am unforgettable. Say it with power. Say it with pride. Let it carve itself into your heart, because that's what you are. Not just remembered, but glorified, magnified, immortalized in their mind. And if this message opened your eyes, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because your story isn't about being lost. It's about becoming the legend they'll never escape. Number 8. Conclusion. They always circle back. My friends, let us close this journey with the truth many of you came here to hear. Dark detachment is not about revenge. It's not about punishing someone or trying to make them jealous. That would still mean giving them power over you. No, dark detachment is alignment. It's you stepping into your own truth, your own orbit, your own power. It's you saying without words, I will not chase what does not honor me. And in that calm, steady shift, something remarkable happens. You become magnetic. You see, when you stop lowering yourself to prove your worth, when you stop explaining, begging, or fighting for a place in someone's life, you rise. And the higher you rise, the more they feel the loss. It's like watching a balloon slip out of your hand. At first you laugh, at first you shrug, but as it floats higher and higher into the sky, you realize it's gone forever. That's the ache they feel. The moment they realize you are no longer in their grasp, regret floods in, and regret has a way of circling people back to where they went wrong. Here's what you need to know, my friends. They will come back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually they will. They'll come with excuses. I was confused. I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I had. They'll come with confessions. I can't stop thinking about you. No one else feels the same. They'll come with those late-night messages, the ones sent when pride is weakest and truth is strongest. And they won't be coming back because you begged for it. They'll come because your energy became the one thing they could not replace, no matter how hard they tried. And here's the beauty of it. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to chase. You don't have to prove. The work is already being done inside their own mind. Psychology tells us the human brain loops unfinished stories, and your detachment left their story with you unfinished. They cannot move on until they circle back, because their own soul demands it. That is why they replay you, why they compare every new face to you, why your glow without them burns in their chest like fire. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists." And the harder they resist admitting they miss you, the stronger that craving becomes. Detachment made you rare, it made you mysterious, it made you unforgettable. And that combination is irresistible. They may fight it, they may deny it, but the truth will break through. And when it does, they will return. Not because you pulled them, but because their own longing dragged them back. But here's the part I want you to understand most. Whether they come back or not, you've already won. Because detachment is not about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your peace, your dignity, your power. When they circle back, that's simply proof of what you already knew. That you were never the problem, that you were always the prize, that you were always unforgettable. Their return is just the echo of what your soul has always carried, value. So hold your head high, my friends. Don't fear their absence. Don't doubt your worth. Your detachment has already rewritten the story. You are not chasing anymore. You are choosing. You are not begging anymore. You are building. And in that stance, you are magnetic. They will circle back because energy like yours cannot be forgotten, cannot be replaced, cannot be erased. Now take this truth and write it in the comments right now. They always circle back. Say it, own it, let it seal itself inside of you. Because when you step into dark detachment, you stop being the one who begs to be chosen. You become the one who is chased. And if this message gave you strength, press the like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because your story, my friends, is not about loss. It's about power, dignity, and the unshakable truth. You are unforgettable. And so, my friends, as we close this journey, remember this. Dark detachment is not about bitterness, it's about power. It's about stepping back into yourself and becoming so magnetic that they cannot escape your presence no matter how far they run. They will remember, they will crave, and in time, they will circle back. But your story is no longer about them. It's about you, thriving, unshakable, unforgettable. If this message spoke to you, press the like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe. Stay with me. Your rise is only beginning.